Shishimara's divine grace, Founder Viskanabhai, Charanadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Shrimadbhagavatam ki, their most merciful Lordship Shri Sharakunja Bihari ki, Shri Jagannath Shri Baladev Mai Subhadra ki, Shri Nataji Shri Balagopal ki, Shri Shivarnitai ki, Nitai Go Purima, all glories to the assembled, all glories to the assembled, all glories to the assembled. All glories to the Lord, Spirit of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nasta Prayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhagavati Naishtaki. Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, Texts 4 and 5.
Yeah, perfect.
Tatropanita Balayo Tatropanita Balayo Rever Deepam Ivadrita Rever Deepam Ivadrita Atmaramam Purna Kamam Atmaramam Purna Kamam Nija
Nija
Labhena
Labena
Nityada
Nityada
Nijalabhena Nityada
Nijalabhena Nityada
Priti
Priti
Itpa Utpala
Phala
Mukha
Mukha
Prochur
Rochur
Priti Utpala Mukha Prochur
Priti Phala Mukha Prochur
Arsha Gadgadaya
Gadgadaya
Gira
Gira
Arsha Gadgadaya Gira
Harsha Gadgadaya Gira
Pitaram
Pitram
Sarva
Sarva
Suridam
Surudam
Pitaram Sarva Suridam
Pitaram Sarva Surudam
Avitaram
Avitaram
Nivarbaka
Nivarbaka
Avitaram Nivarbaka
Avitaram Nivarbaka
Tatropanita Balayo
Tatro Panita Balayo
Raverdipam Nivadrita
Ravedipa Vidadrita
Atmaramam Purnakamam
Atmaramam Purnakamam
Nijalabhena Nityara
Nijalabhena Nityada
Vidyutpala Mukha Prachur
Priti Utphala Mukha Prachur
Harsha Gadgadaya Gira
Harsha Gadgadaya Gira
Pitaram Sarva Suridam
Pitaram Sarva Sudridam
Avitaram Nivarbaka
Avitaram Nivarbaka
Tatropanita Balayo
Tatro Panita Balayo
Ravirdipam Nivadrita
Pravyadipam Nivadrita
Atmaramam Punapkamam
Atmaramam Purnakamam
Nijalabhena Nityada
Nijalabhena Nityada
Vidyutpala Mukha Prochur
Priti Utphala Mukha Prachur
Harsha Gadgadaya Gira
Harsha Gadgadaya Gira
Pitaram Sarva Suridam
Pitaram Sarva Sudridam
Avitaram Nivarbaka
Avitaram Nivarbaka
Krishna.
Tatro Panita Balayo
Tatropanita Balayo
Pravyadipam Nivadrita
Ravirdipam Nivadrita
Atmaramam Purnakamam
Atmaramam Punarkamam
Nijalabhena Nityada
Nityalabhena Nityara
Priti Utphala Mukha Prachur
Vidyutpala Mukha Prochur
Harsha Gadgadaya Gira
Harsha Gadgadaya Gira
Pitaram Sarva Suhridam
Pitaram Sarva Suridam
Avitaram Nivarbaka
Avitaram Nivarbaka Tatrapo Nitalabayo Balayo Ravirdipam Ivadrita Atmaramam Bhumamakamam Nijalabhena Nityala Priti Utpala Mukha Prachur Harsa Gadgadaya Gira Pitaram Sarva Suridam Avitaram Nivarbaka Tatra
Tatra
Thereupon Upanita
Panita
having offered
Having offered
Balaya
Balaya
presentations
presentation
Rave
Nave
up to the sun
up to the sun
Deepam
Deva
lamp
Lamp
Eva
Eva
like
Like
Adrita
Adrita
being evaluated Atmarama
Atmaramam
unto the self-sufficient
unto the self-sufficient
Purnakamam
Purnakamam
fully satisfied
fully satisfied
Nijalabhena
Nijalabhena
by his own potencies
by his own potencies
Nityada
Nityada
one who supplies incessantly
one who supplies incessant
Priti
Priti
affection
affection
Utpalamukha
Purnakamam
cheerful faces
cheerful faces
Prochu
Prochu
said
said
Harsha
Harsha
gladdened
Gladden
Gadgadaya
Gadgadaya
ecstatic
ecstatic
Gira
Gira
speeches
teaches
Pitaram
Pitaram
unto the Father
unto the Father
Sarva
Sarva
all
all
Suridam
Sukridam
friends
friends
Avitaram
Avitaram
the guardian
Gadi
Eva, like.
like
Arbaka,
Arbaka,
wards.
words.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Acharnadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The citizens arrived before the Lord with their respective presentations, offering them to the fully satisfied and self-sufficient one, who, by His own potency, incessantly supplies others. These presentations were like the offering of a lamp to the sun. Yet the citizens began to speak in ecstatic language to receive the Lord, just as wards welcome their guardian and father. Please repeat. The citizens arrived before the Lord.
The citizens arrived before the Lord
With their respective presentation.
with their respective presentations,
Offering them to the fully satisfied
offering them to the fully
and
satisfied
self-sufficient one,
and self-sufficient one,
who,
who,
by His own potency,
by His own potency,
incessantly supplies others.
incessantly supplies others.
These presentations were like the offering of a lamp
These presentations were like the offering of a lamp
to the sun. Yet the citizens began to speak
Yet the citizens began to speak
in ecstatic language
in ecstatic language
to receive the Lord,
to receive the Lord,
just as wards
just as Mars
welcome their guardian
welcomed their guardian
and father. The citizens arrived before the Lord with their respective presentations, offering them to the fully satisfied and self-sufficient one, who by His own potency incessantly supplies others. These presentations were like the offering of a lamp to the sun. Yet the citizens began to speak in ecstatic language to receive the Lord, just as wards welcome their guardian and father. Purport by His Divine Grace of Acharnadavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Lord, Krishna, is described herein as Atmaram. He is self-sufficient, and there is no need for Him to seek happiness from anything beyond Himself. He's self-sufficient because His very transcendental existence is total bliss. He's eternally existent. He's all cognizant and all blissful. Therefore, any presentation, however valuable it may be, is not needed by Him. But still, because He is the well-wisher for one and all, He accepts from everyone everything that is offered to Him in pure devotional service. It's not that He is in want for such things, because the things are themselves generated from His energy. The comparison is made herein that making offerings to the Lord is something like offering a lamp in the worship of the sun god. Anything fiery and illuminating is but an emanation of the energy of the sun, and yet to worship the sun god is necessary to offer him a lamp. In the worship of the sun, there's some sort of demand made by the worshiper. But in the case of devotional service to the Lord, there is no question of demand from either side. It is all a sign of pure love and affection between the Lord and the devotee. The Lord is the Supreme Father of all living beings. And therefore, those who are conscious of this vital relation with God can make filial demands from the Father, and the Father is pleased to supply the demands of such obedient sons without bargaining. The Lord is just like the desire tree, and from Him everyone can have everything by the causeless mercy of the Lord. As the Supreme Father, the Lord, however, does not supply to a pure devotee what is considered to be a barrier to the discharge of devotional service. Those who are engaged in the devotional service of the Lord can rise to the position of unalloyed devotional service by His transcendental attraction. Oh, Jnana-Tamarandasya Dhananjana-Samaya Tattvijnana-Tamena We're seeing here the affection being offered, the offerings being made to Krishna are the affection of the devotees who have been longing for their Lord again to return. Several points are being made here. One particularly, that point is being made that no matter how big an offering or how nice and how beautiful and attractive we try to make our offerings, Krishna doesn't need any of this. And what we do is we take that he's already emanated, and then we just change the form of it. And so it's already his, but it is, we know that he doesn't need it, but it's the only way we have of saying, I love you, Krishna. I love you. So we do that with one another as well. The things we use to express that love have very little comparison. They have little value in comparison to the relationship that they are establishing, or they're giving us the opportunity to establish with Krishna, which is eternal. And then there are souls in this universe that have been brought to, like Narada Muni, whose example we follow, at place of Atmaram, totally self-satisfied. And this is the purport is pointing out, it means that Krishna doesn't need anything. So, one of the cities are described as Prapti city, I think it's called, where you can just reach out in the universe and grab anything you want and boom, bring it right here.
Yes.
Prapti city.
Yes.
So that's one of them. And so a participant in that would be able to have the opulence of being able to produce almost anything he would want. And he wouldn't need to go anywhere, don't have to call up eBay, don't have to make an order. But see, desire, and then this is also pointing out that the desire that the devotees have that have brought them to this state of existence is love. It's the pure love that they're offering from their heart, without expectation in anything in return. That's the point being made. And so see, in our little offerings here, it's being pointed out, no matter how big, no matter how small, it is the request by Krishna for us to show him by taking part in this Vedic cultural, how can we say, expression that people have in Vedic culture for one another, an appreciation for one another that they have. When devotees first greet one another, boom, offering a respectful obeisances. Panchakalpa tribhyascha kripasindhavyavischa pitanam pavanebhyo vaisnavebhyo namo namaha. Now, someone in any other culture in the world, for the most part, aside from Buddhism and things like that, they look at this bowing down at one another as like weakness or some form of worship of themselves or something like this. But it's a recognition of the fact that the Supreme Person has expanded his personality and his consciousness in the realms of his consciousness, making it available to us, and in that form that we now are approaching one another in, we're speaking directly in recognition of that fact. I respect you, not because you're such a great person, that I'm such a great person to be respected, but because of the fact that the Supreme Person is sharing this body with you, and we're recognizing that presence. So that presence is just like me sitting on, I'm nobody. I'm just another human walking around, one of a billion on this planet. But Krishna gives me the ability to sit on this seat. So now I have, by being given that responsibility, now I also have the responsibility of speaking only what I've been taught, only what I've been shown is truth. When I do speak and then speak in ill or something that I find out later to be wrong, I should immediately confess it to the devotees I've spoken to. And so I have made representations about the person they call Jesus Christ, believing him to be the son of Indra. And in that, I made a misstatement. Now, he may be, but I don't know that for certain anymore. So I'm asking that forgiveness that I may have made a misstatement in saying that. From one sense, being that we are all coming from the same Father, we are all in the same family. I was experiencing this morning, they're doing some scientific research about the development of memory. And in this development, they're finding that in exercise with the eyes, looking sideways to this side, and then using the eyes to look the other way, this way, somehow is affecting people's memory through the day, like when you go into a room and then the ability to recuperate your memory and know why you went into that room happens faster. Now, Krishna gives, I'm not sure the verse, maybe if I can find it really quick, and I'll describe it, maybe you know what verse it is. He says, in concentration of the mind upon the end of the nose. You know where he says that? That may be Bhagavatam.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. And I'm not going to take the time to find it, but to explain my experience. Because we don't normally put our eyes in this, looking down like this, but it is an optical exercise. And when you do that for any amount of time, you start, because if you never have done it, this is what happened to me this morning. I've always taken it to mean cut your vision off of everything else that would be a distraction, right?
Sixth chapter.
But this exercise of the optic nerves, which are connected directly to the brain, and it could very well have a beneficial physical effect on the memory as well. See, Krishna gives us instruction. It is Bhagavad Gita, what is it?
6th chapter. Text 12 and 13.
6:12.
Yeah. Say that like, seated firmly on it, the yogi should strive to purify the mind by focusing it in meditation with one-pointed concentration. Controlling all thoughts and activities, he must hold the body, neck and head firmly in straight line and gaze at the tip of nose without allowing the eyes to wander.
Right. Fixing the mind on one point. The mind, the point being described there, Krishna's lotus feet. We could fix our minds also on the mood we are developing to want to be in the place where Krishna can give us guidance. So if we are constantly in that mood, Krishna, please engage me in your loving devotional service. We are opening our mind up to Krishna be able to send that understanding through our consciousness that we are sharing with him. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. We don't take that as applicable to this age. But Krishna is nevertheless giving us general advice of how to practice meditation. The seat should be neither too high nor too low, and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities, and fixing the mind on one point. So this fixing of the mind, he's not saying fix it on me, but this is what we are going to do, is fix our minds on Krishna. He does say in later place, think of him playing the flute. One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. Now here he's pointing out, make him that point or object of our mind's concentration. So it's a very distinct description. Srila Prabhupada says on the tape, sit properly.
Chanting properly.
Yeah. So the devotee that made this recording for Gendralal, he's the devotee that was here that opened the restaurant. And he told me while he was recording, there was a boy sitting next to him who has, in recent years, the last 5, 6, 7 years, in Vrindavan, made mention of the fact that Srila Prabhupada was talking to him. He had been performing these yoga asanas and was really happy that he was going to be able to sit with Srila Prabhupada chanting japa and performing these asanas. And he fell asleep. And Srila Prabhupada said, sit properly. Politely,
Yes.
waking him up. Like yesterday, Mother Uma gave class, and she's bringing back to remembrance this song, Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra, waking up those souls that have fallen into the ignorance of sleep. You know, there is a way when we do sleep, to sleep and enter into the state, the dream state, knowingly.
Knowingly?
And when you do that, these latent abilities we talk about, you can go see Neptune under the ocean, breathing. You can fly. Nobody can stop you. As a little boy, I used to have this recurring dream. I was on a flying bicycle, and as I pedaled, the faster I went, the higher it went. So I used to get just right down to where the people were reaching to get to the wheels and pull me down, and I would get just above where they couldn't reach. And this reoccurring dream. As I later advanced, this was like 7 years old, 8 years old. At that age, I was not of a mind to spiritually relate this to having any significant message. But, in effect, as the years went on and I progressed to learn that there are messages that can be revealed to you by, the ability for Krishna to speak to us with our false egos put down, because in the dream state, you're not thinking of yourself as the controller unless you enter into that state knowingly. But in that state, it is revealed in Bhagavatam that thereby Krishna then can talk to us in our dreams. And so I remember in my childhood, in those years in grade school, I was always trying to do better than everybody else. And so this is a dream revealing to you your state of mind. And no matter who's trying to pull you down, you're just trying to get a little bit above where they can
Not reach.
where they can reach to pull you down. So, see, our help is like that too from Krishna. All these little intricacies about Krishna consciousness, as they become a part of our everyday activities, chanting, taking only prasadam, filling our minds with only truths, reading Bhagavatam, and having association with one another, this automatically puts us into the proper mood. It puts us into the setting where opportunity can reveal itself, be able to engage ourselves in Krishna service. And not only that, but physically, because the foods that we're going to be eating, prepared by devotees' loving hands, are doing that using recipes that have automatically within them medicinal properties, good for well-being and good health, like Krishna describes for us to offer to him. So even though we're not taking a special endeavor to become healthy, it's not our purpose to stay here a long, long time, automatically built into the process is that which will give us that good, healthy, long life that we're looking for in concentrating our minds. If we concentrate our minds on that only, it will be restricted to that which we have access to in this mortal world. If we adhere to what Krishna tells us to do, automatically all the other things we could concentrate our minds on will be fulfilled in him. All the things that we need to perform the functions of devotional service more perfectly. So, Krishna is, in every one of his conversations, giving advice to the souls, it covers every aspect of life, mental health, physical health, and then most beneficially spiritual. Spiritual, realizing the abilities of the soul. When we see this quality of Krishna, Atmaram as it's called, usually devotees think of that as only being available because Krishna is himself the supreme controller. To Krishna, the only one that can have this experience is Krishna. Not so. Narada Muni goes all over the universe. And you don't see him asking people for food. Doesn't happen. And see, with there being souls that we can see manifested, one, for example, Kalpa Vriksha tree. Srila Prabhupada says, here on this planet, if you pick from a tree, it can only offer you one kind of fruit. In the heavenly planets, every tree can offer any kind of fruit. So this is like, and these are souls. The trees are souls. We are souls. These are latent abilities. Now, when we're in the physical realm then, these latent abilities are manifest, restricted by the bodies we take. But in the spiritual realm, there's no restriction. So that's what we're working towards. But again, we don't concentrate, just like Krishna says, we don't concentrate our minds on those abilities. We don't concentrate our minds on anything else but Krishna. And then automatically everything is added as it's needed. And that way we don't get puffed up either. It's like Hanuman. He wasn't bragging about his ability. It was necessary to be used as the function Krishna was giving him to perform his service. And so he used that energy that Krishna gave him and ability that Krishna was in him to cross and jump over to Sri Lanka from India. Wow. So we have a great future to look forward to when we see that Krishna is giving us personal advice, how to conduct our lives for the purpose of our being able to conduct our lives in a way that's pleasing to him, so that he wants us to be personal friends, face to face, handshake to handshake. First handshake ever, Lord Brahma and Krishna. See, that's friendship. And that's what we want to have with God. If you're God's friend, nothing can stop you. Being a friend of God and having that consciousness in our minds that if I'm God's friend, wow, every power that is in this world is working for our benefit. Once you're engaged in devotional service, because all the powers that be are to fulfill the laws of karma and to deliver the devotees and to annihilate the demons. Annihilate meaning they get taken out of this set of circumstances that is meant to be creating a heavenly planet here and put into a set of circumstances more equivalent to their mindset. And that's what the hellish planets are. People have a certain mindset. They want to bring harm and destruction to others. So then they get to see what it's like when it comes to them. We've had this experience recently in Washington. We see lawmakers, right, sitting in their comfortable seats and chairs, making laws that affect people and can affect people's lives and their careers and can be the cause of people going to jail. You know, we had a couple summers ago when Mr. Biden was in office, we had rioting going on in the streets. And the breaking of the law, called thievery, was made legal. In California, you could go into a store and steal, and it was being allowed. Now, a lot of those stores have been forced out of business. Now, the whole city is turning into a dump yard. I would say what it has been described as by our present president, but it wouldn't be allowed in the temple. But it is turning into a dump by lawlessness. Lawlessness, and see, these evidences are supposed to give us reality of what laws cause what end. So when we allow lawlessness, then we experience the chaos that lawlessness creates. When people are allowed to just let their minds roam wild. And that's what Krishna consciousness is, as it was described in this purport. The concentration of the mind, the control, the subduing of the senses with subdued senses. That term dude gets used more often for different reasons. But dude in Sanskrit is milk. Dude in English is a guy that's at the top of the list, being a wise guy, right? A real dude. So these sounds, see, in some cases, because Krishna's name is a specific sound, and in the original dwelling in Vaikuntha and the spiritual world, those sounds are the substance that's being described. Sound is non-different, in other words, from the description it makes. So if you say, water, then it's there. So they call it, just like Arjuna, when Grandfather Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows, as it's described, he asked Arjuna, his favorite student, will you call the sacred rivers? Arjuna shot into the ground and called the sacred rivers into being, and Grandfather Bhishma was satisfied. He was lying there in a bed of arrows, covered, bleeding continuously the whole time. Can you imagine? And yet, waiting until the perfect moment, the time. See, with devotees, we don't have to wait. Krishna, by engaging in that energy of his that is in control of when we leave, when we go. Karmis who are engaging only in the laws of material energy are forced by the hands of material energy to leave when they determine. Srila Prabhupada was asked at one point when he was lying ill in bed, Srila Prabhupada, we need you. We need you for your guidance. We need you for your counseling. And we're not ready yet for you to go. Can you please stay? And in a moment of silence, Srila Prabhupada turned his head, and then he said, Krishna said, I can go or I can stay. See, this reveals to us the relationship he has with Krishna and how dear it is to have and cherish the value of the advancement the Guru has made, to know what it means and what he's making available to us in his relationship with Krishna. He wants us to have the same relationship as he has. And that's what we are all being developed in our mannerisms, in our etiquettes, in our relationships with one another, to develop those lifestyles that will enable others by seeing us to follow the example and themselves also gain that same friendship with Krishna. That's what it's all about. Have you hugged God today? Have you danced with God today? Have you spoken nicely about God today? Say something to make him your friend.
Yeah.
Job. Nice. Job. Any comments, any questions, any realizations you'd like to share?
Very nice.
Thank you very much. Grant Shrimadbhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.